continue to engage these three countries with a view to maintaining the unity of our region.
Sixth African Union Mid-Year Coordination Meeting ends in Accra, Ghana, with a call for more continental integration.
Without peace, nothing can strive.
Protest is not the answer, rather engage in dialogue. Traditional leaders advise Nigerians against proposed nationwide protest. Also on the news tonight, Nigeria's Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to be considered for second term as Director General, World Trade Organization. Hello and welcome to the Network News on NTA this Monday. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Presenting business news tonight is Musa Abubakar. Musa, what's happening in the capital market?
Well, investors gain 16.54 billion naira in the capital market to begin the week in positive territory.
We look forward to the details in the course of the bulletin. Also tonight, counting down live on Sports Update is Ayo Deji Makinde. What's on the table tonight, Ayo?
Well, Naja'atu, we are just 4 days to the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympic Games, and Team Nigeria ready to go.
Well, we expect more. We're excited to get details from you as well. Remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our YouTube channel, nta.ng, on our website rather, nta.ng/live, on our YouTube channel and across social media platforms. Do give us a follow. And now the news in detail. President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has presented efforts taken by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to curb insecurity in the region. This is as the midterm meeting of the African Union concludes in Ghana. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
President Bola Tinubu was at the African Union midterm meeting for two reasons. First, to represent Nigeria as the president, and the second, to represent the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which he chairs. President Tinubu addressed the African leaders on the status of ECOWAS, mentioning that the community has activated a standby force to counter any form of terrorism threat. The Nigerian leader stated that ECOWAS has been supporting member states to enhance electoral and governance processes, and that recently the body has deployed election observation missions to Senegal and Togo. Both elections, he said, were considered peaceful, transparent, and fair.
We will continue to engage these three countries with a view to maintaining the unity of our region.
Regarding economic integration, President Tinubu mentioned that ECOWAS has implemented activities to consolidate the free trade area, customs union, and common markets. At the end of the meeting, the president of Mauritania, who is the chairman of the African Union, stated that it was agreed that AU Commission, AFDB, and the UN Commission for Africa should play their roles in meeting the demands of the continent.
The declaration also reflects our will that we want to speak with one voice, the voice of Africa. And this strengthens further our position in the different international fora and meetings.
Member nations have also been encouraged to meet their obligations to the African Union. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, back in Nigeria, the ministers of budget and economic planning, along with other ministers and Speaker House of Representatives, have agreed that the pathway to food sufficiency and economic growth is a collaborative one, which requires the support of not only the African Development Bank, but other development partners. This is as the AFDB tasks the Nigerian government on taking urgent action towards sufficiency. This was at an interactive session on building bankable business plans for women and youth in agriculture. Benny Adams reports.
Stakeholders across Nigeria's agri value chain say they are committed to creating a conducive ecosystem for youth and women's enterprise and to address the knowledge gaps that prevent them from accessing finance and developing bankable business plans.
Together, we have launched an initiative called the Renewed Hope Agricultural Empowerment Project for internally displaced persons. This innovative program aims to empower over 10,000 internally displaced individuals over the next 3 years. There are over 40 million agricultural households, meaning that close to 170 million of Nigeria's population is in agriculture.
We are currently training 3 million technical talents to ensure that Nigeria has the technology workforce to help us power the application of technology in sectors like agriculture.
We are dedicated to establishing a robust legislative framework that supports agricultural banks or financial institutions, enabling them to provide low-interest loans.
The Ministry of Youth Development has developed crucial initiatives that provide the support and resources for youth and women and young women to overcome these challenges and contribute significantly to the agricultural sector.
For the African Development Bank, financing initiatives that will ensure Nigeria feeds Africa and Africa in turn feeds the world is a worthy venture.
The question, therefore, is not whether Africa can feed itself, it is rather how quickly can we make it happen. And this is why we launch transformative initiatives like our $25 billion Technologies for African Agriculture Transformation, TAT program, to revolutionize African agriculture.
Our cumulative financing approvals have reached almost $11 billion, and our portfolio currently stands at $4.9 billion, supporting 43 projects in the public and private sectors.
The initiative's partners are the International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, Innovative Youth in Agriculture, the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, and the Nigeria Agricultural Insurance Commission. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Still on regional issues, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called for constitutional amendments with key provisions which support the enforcement of existing and new laws on gender parity in the ECOWAS sub-region. Senator Tinubu made the call at the first ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament with a spotlight again on promoting women's proportional representation in government. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development identifies full and effective participation of women in governance and decision-making as a key goal, taking cognizance of their capacity. However, the gender parity barometer is still poor and a far cry from the yearnings of women in sub-Saharan Africa, a reality that the ECOWAS Parliament acknowledges and seeks to address at the 2024 First Ordinary Session by building necessary solidarity.
I want to seize this opportunity to call on you, Madam First Lady, so that you can be our spokesperson with the head of state and other of your colleagues who are First Ladies for the necessary changes that we hope we will have in our laws and constitutions.
This is her first attendance at the ECOWAS Parliament since becoming Nigeria's First Lady. The First Lady says functional girl-child education and improved quota in favor of women are required to dismantle social, cultural, and structural barriers standing in the way of women participation in the sub-region.
Additionally, raising awareness about the importance of women's representation in governance is crucial. Public campaigns, media engagements, and community programs can help shift societal attitudes. Government must put in place robust mechanisms to ensure compliance with gender quotas. This include legal frameworks and monitoring systems that hold political parties accountable.
We must recognize that achieving gender parity is not solely the responsibility of women. It demands the unwavering support of men.
Away from the session, the First Lady could not resist the urge to pay a brief visit to her old office at the newly renovated Red Chamber of the National Assembly. From the National Assembly, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Security, another key issue in focus, among others, at the just concluded AU midterm meeting where Chairman, ECOWAS Heads of State and Government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented efforts taken by ECOWAS to curb insecurity in the region. And to talk more about some of the key issues raised and solutions proffered at the meeting is correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali, who we call Tofa. Tofa, key items on the, sorry about that, Tofa. Key items on the agenda include assessing the status of regional integration in Africa, evaluating the AU's early warning and conflict prevention mechanisms, and promoting cooperation among regional economic communities to accelerate integration, among key issues. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about these issues raised?
Well, thank you, Naja. Today being Monday is the day that the ECOWAS Parliament 2024 first ordinary session ended. After 3 weeks of debates with 17 plenary sessions, which gives the members of the Parliament of the state legislature an opportunity to discuss issues affecting the region. And these issues link to the regional integration, socioeconomic development, good governance, and strengthening the democracy, in the region. So these are the thematic areas in which the session, in the last 3 weeks, centered on. And we can say that it was a fruitful deliberations, and they are looking forward, all the parliament are clamoring to see that issue of regional integration, continue to be on the front burner.
Can I cut you there, Tofa? There's the issue, when we talk about regional integration, 3 member states have left, that's Mali, Burkina Faso. Tell us about this issue and how that, impacts on the statement and, of course, the goal of having integration.
These 3 member countries, like you rightly said, the Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, early this year, precisely January, withdrawn from the ECOWAS bloc. And is some of the issues that raised during this 3 weeks of debate. I remember vividly the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Umar Ali Toure, presented a media-term report before the parliament. And he made mention that the commission has initiated engagement to see that these member countries that have withdrawn from the bloc, have rescinded their decision. And he made mention also that the Commission is working, making efforts, with ECOWAS Parliament to see that engagements have continued to, play, so that the consequences of this withdrawal, will not be, continue to be on the side of the ECOWAS region.
What about the solutions proffered? We've talked about, of course, hopes and expectations and what this will. Can you just briefly tell us about the solutions and then, of course, conclusion?
All right. As the session ended today, there are parity resolutions which I've earlier mentioned that the Commission and also ECOWAS Parliament will continue to collaborate to see that the region, go forward. To make the region, peace, and for every one to be able to go with other issues that has to do with migration, issue of human rights, and finally, the issue of drug abuse. So these are the parity resolutions that they have, come together to see that they have tackled all these issues that I've mentioned.
Thank you very much, Tofa. We look forward to more updates, of course, in the coming weeks. I've been speaking with our ECOWAS Parliament correspondent, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, who we call Tofa in our newsroom, speaking on the just concluded AU midterm meeting. Thank you, Tofa.
Thank you very much.
Moving on now, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says the 10th National Assembly is committed to achieving full autonomy for local governments in order to truly bring government closer to the grassroots. This was while inaugurating the 10th Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikben reports.
The President of the Senate and the Speaker, House of Representatives, double as chairman and alternate chairman of the Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, which is a hub for legislative training and practice.
It's my pleasure.
The inauguration of the 10th Governing Council is an avenue for the chairman to challenge the institute to extend training and capacity building to state legislators in order to deepen democratic practices at other tiers of government.
We need to do more. We must put our heads together, partner with NILS to come up with strategies for us to have a national local government election that will guarantee that every party can go into the local government council as councillor and avoid this bandwagon effect of any party that is in power. On how we can even make the budgets of local governments in Nigeria independent of the budgets of the states.
The Institute must continue tailoring its activities to the evolving needs of the legislature, ensuring that its interventions are strategic and aligned with the priorities.
To go a long way in deepening what we are doing here in terms of technical intervention to National Assembly, to subnational parliaments, and to all political stakeholders in democracy.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies is backed by law to provide technical support to legislators and the Nigerian legislature. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has commenced investigation into challenges affecting the downstream and midstream petroleum sectors in Nigeria, with a view to finding lasting solutions. At an inaugural sitting, Deputy Speaker of the House, Benjamin Kalu, urged the joint committees carrying out the probe to work towards a convergence between the domestic crude oil supply obligation and the nation's energy security.
The quality of petroleum products imported into Nigeria has come under scrutiny, and we must ensure compliance with global standards.
Our investigation will proceed in phases, beginning with the investigation of the allegation of alleged production and importation of substandard petroleum products and the non-availability of crude oil to domestic refineries.
Meanwhile, more agencies of government are appearing before the House Special Committee on Restructuring of MDAs to justify why they should not be scrapped or subsumed into other agencies.
Institute for Trypanosomiasis Research will take care of two major neglected tropical diseases.
Public Complaints Commission, having existed for 47 years, created by the military, I don't think it's right for a democratically elected government to say you are subsuming it into a 27 years organization.
Everybody here will bear me witness. You have not even told us why the proposal by the federal government should not carry the day.
Viewing the recommendations of Oronsai report, the Oronsai report is still engaging more agencies. The Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Oil, has held a high-level meeting with key stakeholders to address and resolve ongoing issues surrounding the Dangote refinery. A statement by Nehemaka Okafor, the Special Advisor, Media and Communications to the Minister, made this known to attendees at a meeting including Aliko Dangote, Chairman and CEO of Dangote Group, Farouk Ahmed, Authority Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Benga Komolafe, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and Mele Kyari, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited. Stakeholders expressed gratitude to the Minister for his exemplary leadership and timely intervention in facilitating the dialogue. The meeting focused on finding sustainable and lasting solutions to the current impasse affecting the Dangote refinery, with all parties demonstrating a commitment to collaborating and being proactive in problem solving. The minister emphasized the importance of cooperation and synergy among all stakeholders to ensure the success and optimal performance of the oil and gas sector, which is pivotal for Nigeria's economic growth and energy security. This is the network. It's nice to know you're still watching the network news on NTA. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Professor John Oladapo Obafunwa as the new Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, NIMR. Effective from July 24, 2024, Professor Obafunwa succeeds Professor Babatunde Salako, whose tenure expires July 23, 2024. The President extends his gratitude to Professor Salako for his service to the nation and expects the new Director General to bring his immense wealth of experience and qualifications to bear in this role to further drive the NIMR's objective of leading research into diseases of public health in Nigeria and developing structures for the dissemination of research findings. Professor Obafunwa is a professor of forensic pathology. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu extends his congratulations to Afam Josiah Osigwe, SAN, on his election as president of the Nigerian Bar Association. The president also congratulates all newly elected officers of the NBA and members of the association for a successful election. Commending the outgoing NBA president Yakubu Meikyo, SAN, for his stewardship to Nigeria's foremost legal association, President Tinubu assures the NBA of his administration's support in addressing challenges affecting the legal profession. Embrace dialogue rather than protests to address issues. The latest call from traditional leaders across Nigeria concerning the proposed nationwide protest. The council made the call during a meeting in Abuja to further proffer solutions to ease the present economic hardship. Garba Nata'ala reports.
Dialogue rather than planned protest is the monarch's call in sustaining peace enjoyed in the country, despite concerns of insecurity, high inflation, and youth restiveness, among other challenges affecting Nigerians. These concerns necessitated the meeting, urging Nigerians to imbibe unity and national cohesion as their watchword, more than ever before in addressing issues facing Nigeria.
The administration inherited a lot of challenges that we feel obliged to resolve, and with your support, we shall resolve all of them. I must also re-emphasize to you the need to allow peace to reign so that our gains could be consolidated.
So it's important for us, let's look at issues of dialogue. How can we reach out to everybody and say, look, let's talk about this. What are the issues? You have made your cases known.
Let us look at the positive side of our nation. And it's very simple. We traditional rulers, we have a role to play. We want to tell the government the truth.
With the theme, Traditional Institutions, Governance and National Cohesion, guest speaker Mainasara Umar Kugo informed that the meeting is timely and strategic for each region to take its rightful place. The ideals pursued here is for the custodians of Nigeria's heritage to continue promoting peace and relate in matters affecting their people. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Ta'ala, NTA News.
The elders have spoken. Meanwhile, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has met heads of security agencies and community leaders, among other stakeholders, against the proposed national protest, noting that protests never provide solutions to any nation's challenges and giving assurance that the government at national and subnational levels is doing everything within its power to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Of this stakeholders meeting, inshallah, will be able to ensure that we have a peaceful Jigawa State and we have a peaceful Nigeria. This protest will not succeed by the grace of Allah.
The meeting is an all-encompassing one which brings together heads of security agencies, traditional leaders, religious leaders, community leaders to take a stance on the proposed national protest expected to be held next month. Speakers at the event say the protest is never in the culture of Islam and Christianity. What is needed is for Nigerians to turn to God for help and pray for the leaders to be guided and steer the country on the path of sustainable development. Governor Umar Namadi says the government at all levels will never compromise on their resolve to address challenges confronting the nation.
Issue of protest will not solve this problem. The protest will compound this problem, and all the participants has agreed with that. That is not a solution. And you have heard everybody has confirmed that he will do his best to ensure that this protest do not happen.
He states that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the suspension of import duties on the importation of essential commodities for 5 months to ease the present hardship experienced by the citizens. The heads of military, police and other paramilitary organizations have resolved to work with stakeholders to ensure no protest holds in Jigawa State. In Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And reports just reaching us say the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics ASUP has suspended its planned strike. A statement by the president of the union, Shama Banja, states the decision follows an emergency NEC meeting of the union today, 22nd July, where the union's engagements with representatives of the federal government were reviewed. The union had issued a 15-day ultimatum to the government with effect from the 8th of July 2024 to suspend the implementation of the new scheme of service for Nigerian polytechnics released by the National Board for Technical Education on the 19th of June 2024, which it says further entrenches discrimination against polytechnics and its staff. The leadership of the union says government has acted on its demand as leadership of the NBTE and Federal Ministry of Education invited the union for a meeting on the 19th of July where the new scheme of service was examined, and thereafter it was agreed that the implementation of the document be suspended and a review process initiated. And to security. Troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have rescued a pregnant woman, Ihie Abdu, who has been in captivity of Boko Haram insurgents for more than 10 years with her children. Correspondent Abubakar Musa reports that Ihie Abdu was number 67 on the list of abducted Chibok girls.
That was Ihie Abdu recalling how she was forcefully taken away by Boko Haram insurgents in 2014 in Chibok local government area of Borno State. Ihie, who is currently 3 months pregnant for one of the terrorists, was previously married to 8 different insurgents while in Sambisa forest, out of which 2 of them are fathers of her 2 children, Khadija and Anas. Handing over the victim and her children to Borno State government for further necessary action, Theatre Commander Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Waidi Shaibu said Ihie Abdu was on serial number 67 on the list of abducted Chibok school girls published by the federal government in 2014. The recovery of Ihie by the Nigerian army brings the number of rescued Chibok girls to 19 so far.
The plight of the remaining Chibok girls in captivity continue to capture national headlines, and here in the theater, it has necessitated the conduct of several military operations deep into enemy enclaves with the sole aim of facilitating their rescue.
Rescuing these girls means a lot, not only to us Nigerians, but to the international community.
As usually, we take them to Bolonkotri Interim Care Center where we provide them with services.
In a related development, troops of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have rescued 330 women and children along Bama and Pulka axis of Borno State who successfully escaped from the stronghold of Boko Haram insurgents. The 110 women as well as 220 children have been handed over to Borno State government for profiling and other psychosocial interventions. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
Managing disability in children and adolescents requires a comprehensive approach which addresses their physical, emotional and social needs. To meet these needs, the Child Care Trust and Petra Speech Early Childhood and Development Center are reviving one of the pet projects of late Stella Obasanjo for children with special needs. Elizabeth Omori, who went on a tour of the facility in Buari Area Council of the FCT, reports that the center needs the support of government and individuals to function optimally.
Amia, my name is Grace.
Amira and Praise are students benefiting from a vision birthed 16 years ago to cater to the needs of children with special needs. The Child Care Trust of late Stella Obasanjo at Buari can provide shelter for 120 children for emotional support, counseling, education, speech and language therapies, and health care. Following the MOU signed recently, the center is soliciting the support of governments at all levels, parents, donor agencies and individuals to promote inclusion to make life better for these vulnerable children with unique abilities.
We are going to succeed in giving them what is needed for them.
NGOs to assist us. We direct them where we have complaints and we want them to help us.
About 30 million naira per annum. We go a long way to be a great support.
They will be taking care of their speech and language therapy, psychological therapy. We are also working on the curriculum to make sure that each child is taught according to their skills, ability, and time span.
The medical clinic, speech and language labs, physiotherapy room, hearing impaired class, kitchen, intellectual impaired room are part of facilities that require modern equipment to operate effectively. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next, we're joining Michael in Lagos, who has more reports. Hello, Michael. Next, we're...
Thank you, Najatu. House of Representatives Committee on Land Transportation says as part of its determination to strengthen logistics and agro-produce distribution value chain across the country, they will push for legislation to boost private sector participation for sustainability in rail operations. This was stated by the chairperson House Committee on Land Transportation during an oversight visit by the committee members to the Nigerian Railway Corporation in Lagos. Amaka Owo reports.
Members of the House Committee on Land Transportation on Oversight, accompanied by the leadership of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, had train ride from Lagos to Ibadan and back to Lagos to see firsthand the challenges and ways to boost operations of the railway system in the country. Traveling from Lagos to Ibadan by rail reinforces the benefits of this unique mode of land transportation.
On the central control, once it is switched on, you don't need to be switched off. They are working on the power supply because that is the OCC for the entire Nigeria.
When these things begin to work, the prices of food will crash automatically, things will get better.
The safety, comfort, home away from home ambience that comes with a ride. This world-class infrastructure that connects cities and promotes interstate commercial activities remains top-notch. For sustainable efficiency in this viable subsector to be achieved, the members led by the chairperson made a brief stop at the Alex Ekweme Operational Center, where the digital control tower that monitors the movement of trains across the country has been installed and to begin operations in 2 weeks' time. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The Sustainable Development Goal 4 aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education while promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. This entails that all children, no matter where they live or circumstances, must have the right to quality education. The federal government is placing premium on this with the Safe School Initiative, which is structured towards ensuring the safety of both students and school facilities. Hingino John Adams tells us more.
Data from the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, shows that Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children in the world, with only 63% of primary school-aged children attending school regularly. Experts have attributed incidents of kidnapping in schools as one of the factors responsible for this trend. The Safe School Initiative is the approach the government is using to deal with the challenge.
The IGP has gradually got approval from the presidency, and these are being deployed from time to time. I remember in Akwa Ibom State, the consultant was with me, and we actually, before I left, we got to an advanced stage, whereby if anything happens to anyone in school, just with the touch of a button, the control room is aware, and then we move into that place. It's already being used in Akwa Ibom, and I'm sure Lagos is working towards that too.
When we have any issue concerning security in any school, and they get to us at the center, we have quick response numbers. When they get to us at the number, we escalate it to the relevant agents that can quickly respond to that incident.
Sylvester Juwe is an educationist who is concerned about the safety of students.
Collaboration between the schools, the community they live in, the parents, and also the law enforcement agencies. Because it's difficult for these school priests to come into a school and kidnap students without anybody seeing them in the community.
With the Safe School Initiative given proper attention by all stakeholders, experts believe cases of kidnapping in schools will be totally eradicated. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NTA News.
An African group at the World Trade Organization has presented a proposal at the WTO General Council this Monday. The proposal is for members to consider Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to run for second term as DG WTO and for the chair, General Counsel, to commence the process of the appointment of the Director General as soon as possible. Members also debated and tabled efforts and qualities of the DG, along with her contributions to the organization, which enhanced the slot of progress and development, affirming that she deserves to be reappointed as the DG. All the members in the meeting from all regions who took the floor supported the meeting. About 58 members rather supported the endorsement. The meeting concluded with resolutions that the CG chair will start consultations and the process of appointment as soon as approved by the General Council. And next is business news with Musa Abubakar to tell us about whether the capital market is bullish or bearish.
It is
Musa?
bullish. Well, thank you, Naja.
Comoros and Timor-Leste have handed over to WTO Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala the acceptance of the WTO protocols of accession, setting both countries on course to formally become the 165th and 166th members of the WTO in late August. Comoros and Timor-Leste also handed over to the Director General their respective instrument of acceptance of the agreement on fisheries subsidies. WTO members officially approved the WTO accessions of both list developed countries during a special ceremony at the 13th Ministerial Conference in Abu Dhabi on 26 February.
To align our national policy. Thanks one more time for all WTO members, especially for Madame Ngozi. Today is a historical day for us and also for WTO.
Today was an occasion of great joy for us, and we're just so happy that they've been able to do everything quick on time. It's not been easy.
En s'acquittant de tous les engagements pris y afférents. Ce faisant, l'Union des Comores vient de franchir une étape capitale dans la voie d'une plus grande insertion dans le système économique et commercial mondial. Vive la solidarité et la coopération internationale. Je vous remercie.
To the capital market, equities market begin the first weekday of trade in positive territory as investors gain 16.54 billion naira. The all-share index advanced by 0.03% to close at 100,568.60 basis point. At the end of the first weekday of trading on NGX Capital Market, a total of 335 million shares in 8,760 deals corresponding to a market value of 3.7 billion were traded. The current market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is 57 trillion naira. In the aggregate, 120 NGX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 22 gainers and 16 losers. And that's business news. Next is sport, but that will be after the break.
All right, now you're welcome to Sports Updates. Super Falcons intensified training ahead of 2024 Paris Olympics with all 18 players involved in a 2-hour session with head coach Randy Waldrum at the Stellum Stadium in Bordeaux. They are to face Brazil in their first match on Thursday, July 25, before taking on world champions Spain on Sunday and then Japan on Wednesday, July 31. The Falcons are returning to the Olympics after missing out of 2012, 2016 and 2020 edition of the Games. Let's move on and tell you that Minister of Sports Development John Eno has met with the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, ahead of African Military Games in November. The military delegation is seeking technical partnership with about 2,000 athletes from 42 countries expected to participate in the Games from November 6 to 15 in 19 major events. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu is the grand patron of the Africa Military Games. Elsewhere in handball, the Chief of Army Shooters, Abuja and Omo Ogiefo Sports Academy have continued to celebrate their victories of the Division 1 National Handball League in Benin City. Correspondent Femi Johnson reports that COAS Shooters, led by coach Emeka Nnamani, defeated Osun United 21-16 goals in a tension-soaked match. Both teams will now compete in the 2025 Adova Handball Premier League. In the women category, Omo Ogiefo Academy secured a narrow 18-17 goals victory over Ekiti Queens to return to the women's top flight.
You can see that an academy is even in the final. That's what we've been rooting for, and that's what we are seeing. So we are very, very glad as a federation.
The team that is playing now, we are the team we sent for the under-13 last year, under-15 last year, and now look at where they are. They have qualified for the...
That NBA star LeBron James will be the male flag bearer for Team USA at the opening ceremony of Paris Olympics on Friday. The 39-year-old LA Lakers power forward was nominated by his fellow American Olympians as the male flag bearer, with a decision on the female flag bearer to be announced on Tuesday. James will be competing in his 4th Olympics after appearing and winning bronze medal at the Athens 2004 Games before back-to-back gold medals in Beijing 2008 and London 2012 Games. Now, for more on the Olympic Games, which start in the next 4 days, let's join Bade Adeleye.
Welcome to the Paris 2024 Olympics Countdown. Today, we take a look at the 4 additional sports at the 2024 Olympic Games. Making its debut is breaking, commonly known as breakdancing. The urban dance style event comprises 2 events, one for men and the other for women, where 16 B-boys and 16 B-girls will face off in spectacular solo battles. The other 3 additional sports are making their return to the Games after debuts at the Tokyo Games. Skateboarding, the first among them, maintains its format, with sports climbing returning with a fresh format. The third one, surfing, retains its format but will only take place 9,000 miles from Paris.
Breakdancing is not one that you need to be for all sizes. Anybody can participate in it. Skateboarding too, another easy sport that Nigeria can participate in. I think if we tap into these new sports, we might be able to increase our medal haul at the Olympics and maybe probably get more gold.
It's a long time coming. If we can see tech ball, futsal, everyone is doing something different. Why not dancing? Maybe singing one of these days would even join in sports because you have to exercise your vocal cords.
Let's not forget that we will also see the return of 3-on-3 basketball. That's our countdown for today. I am Bade Adeleye.
It's back to Nigeria.
And that concludes, that sports update concludes the network news on NTA. We're looking forward to all the live sports action. Before the curtain is finally drawn, however, here's a quick recap of the bulletin. African leaders rise from 6th AU midterm meeting with far-reaching resolutions including curbing insecurity in West Africa. Senate to investigate alleged economic sabotage in petroleum sector. National Council of Traditional Rulers advise Nigerians against planned nationwide protest in August. And that concludes the network news on NTA. Thanks for being a part of the bulletin. I'm Naja'atu Tijani.